Let me make sure you guys are at a good distance. Y'all don't need me all up in your face. How are ya? Welcome to a Moment of Harmony. For those that regularly tune in and schedule in during the lives, we are like streaming extremely late. I was working very hard not to have to cancel today's stream because we already delayed it from Saturday to Sunday due to some weekend activities and things, that obligations that I had to get into. And then when we had this morning, we had a super family emergency. Everybody's fine and everybody's okay, but it definitely was a bit time consuming and we had to get everybody together. And I was like, please don't make me have to cancel my moment, because the moment engagers and exchangers have been so patient with moving us from Saturday to Sunday. So as always, mommy mercy. I am so grateful to be here. I need this moment. I am so excited to exchange a moment as such with you all. We are in Meiotic Moments, my absolute favorite series since I started A Moment of Harmony. We have been going through the 42 laws of Mayat, and we've been applying them, making them applicable and practical for our healing and our journey of growth and development. So I always say that when it comes to Meiotic Moments, it was centered extremely, hey, Mr. Carter. It was extremely so happy to see you. Week blessings, weekend blessings. It was so heavily centered around our character and the development of our character, and how often many of us want to grow, we want to become better, we want to do better, but we are missing the character component, right? We get very particular about what we eat, or we get very particular about what we read, or we get very particular about what we do, and we don't get very particular about who and how we are. And Meiotic Moments is all about that. It is a comedic spiritual practice that I have studied and that I have brought to all of the masses, so no matter what you subscribe to or what walk of life you've come from, but really to be able to have us look closely into ourselves, to be able to look closely into how we are developing ourselves and what we are doing to grow the most important parts of self, which are the inside. I always say the Meiotic Moments are us walking away from painting a house that's falling apart, right? Peace. Why would we be painting a house on the outside that's falling apart on the inside? And so that's where the character component and the character development, we are building the innermost workings of self. And I am so excited. Always a blessing to be able to do that with you. I'm trying to think. Y'all know I like to do my birthday shout outs, but because everything was so crazy this morning, I am a little bit discombobulated. So if I'm missing anyone, please forgive me. The morning was crazy. So peace, everyone. How are you? Yeah, shout out to all the exchangers. Thank you and welcome for being, thank you and welcome to A Moment of Harmony, and thank you for being here. Yeah, hopefully I'm not leaving out anyone. Just blessings. We are retrograding. Keep your head up, keep moving, stay up, pray up. You know what I'm saying? Keep it moving. We are going to get into the moment. Our moment today is entitled I have not. It is the law that states I have not closed my ears to the truth. I believe it is the 9th week in the 9th law. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Are we at 11? If I count it correctly, I didn't want to spend too much time counting because it's just kind of, I just want to make sure I count it correctly. But I think we might be at 11 now. I don't know, where did the time go? If we are 11 weeks into Meiotic Moments, oh my gosh, to you and your growth and your development and your commitment to self. Come on now. I know you're probably been looking really good into your life and looking good into everything you're connected to and brightening up and moving through yourself. So now, 11, right? I hope I counted right. 11. I have not closed my ears to the truth. I am so excited about this. So let me tell you something. Back when I first started A Moment of Harmony, we came through a number of series. We had a Matter of Moments. We had a reflection series. We had a declaration series. I'm trying to remember all of them. A praise break, magnetic, magnified moments. We've had a lot of moments. And in the beginning, when we used to go through all of the moments and all of through series, as I would pray and meditate before I start any series, and I would come up with kind of the curriculum or the flow or the agenda of the series, I would find myself seriously, like, in my life living whatever week I was in. It got so scary that I got to the point where I was like, I'm not even going to create the itinerary anymore. When I get to the week, I will feel what week we should be focused on based on the series we're in, and I'm going to put that. It got really creepy. But then we went into myotic moments, and I swear it happens again. So it happens again. When getting into the myotic moments, every law, every week, I am like thrust into having a personal experience and a personal navigation with the law. And oh my gosh, like they trying to change me. You know what I'm saying? Our ancestors are really working. The energy is working. The spirit is working. And it's trying to change and grow. And I'm just so happy to be able to have this. I have not closed my ears to the truth. This is so super significant because there are so many, oh my gosh, there's so many pitfalls, distractions, delays, frustrations that we have in our lives from time to time. And we're always just like, why, many of us, I'm just going to say, why are things happening to us? What is going on? Why is life this way? When in fact, we have been revealed the truth. When in fact, we have been served or blessed or offered answers. When in fact, we have been given direction. And oftentimes it's like we don't like what we hear. We don't like what the direction is. It's different from what we think. And that's why when we get into spirituality, there's a lot of us that just say, sight beyond what I see, knowledge beyond what I can comprehend when it comes to spiritual enlightenment and the following and the reverence of source. So when it comes down to that, I'm just kind of like us being able to get into a place where we can us being able to get into a place where we're not afraid of what we hear. We trust and we have faith in our inner voice, and we trust more than anything and have faith in whatever you subscribe to as source, right? So this law, I was gonna say moment, this law means so very much because I have not closed my ear to the truth. Let's just say our ancestors knew what they were doing when they were talking about growing us and getting us better, okay? Because being open to what it is, even if it's not what we want to hear, even if we're not familiar with it, even if the message scares us, even if the message leads us into the unknown, the bravery, the courage, but also the victory that awaits us for being able to honor the truth, for being able to be focused and steadfast with the truth, right? So I have not closed my ears to the truth. I cannot wait to get into this today. I'm super excited. So there are a number of things I want to break down as it pertains to this law. I have not closed my ears, and I just want to make sure because it's bugging me about making sure I'm on the right number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, I am on 11. Okay, I was right. Sorry about that, guys. Y'all, sometimes the facts start to drive me crazy because I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So yes, the 11th law, I have not closed my ears to the truth. 11 is definitely one of my favorite numbers, a super number of divinity and a number of, what is it, spiritual accompanying, right? Accompaniment. Yeah, or yes. So 11 is a super name, wish fulfillment, those types of things. I love the number 11, and we're on law number 11. I just had to be certain. They mean things, guys. Everything means something. So I have not closed my ears to the truth. The first thing that I want to get into today, first off, let me just start off by saying I always give the disclaimer. Many of us subscribe and are a part of all different types of ideologies or theories and thought systems, spiritual practices. I want everyone to know that it is not my desire to push any way of thinking onto you, to judge or disrespect any way that you think or feel. It is my desire to take my teachings and my way and what I understand my life and spiritual practices to be as a wellness practitioner, as a healer and an educator, and be able to put it through this platform, which I've been so blessed to reach the masses with. So please know that I hope that we are picking out or getting to the point, we're understanding the point of everything, and we're not getting lost in the process. Understand the point, don't get lost in the process, and you will get there. Okay, I have not closed my ears to the truth. Now, the first thing I would like to highlight as it pertains to this law is I have not closed my ears to the truth. Now, specifically, the law does not say, y'all know that when it comes to defining things, or when it comes to research, or when it comes to getting to the bottom of information, it is a great deal of what is said, and it is also a great deal of what is not said. And this law does not say I will not deny the truth, or it does not say I have not ignored the truth. It has not said I will not, which would be all encompassing, right? Ears, eyes, thought, mind. It was not all encompassing. It was very specific to say, I have not closed my ears to the truth. And so that component is very, very important to this law, and very important to what we grasp as we move forward with this law. I have not closed my ears. Again, it could have been broader. It was specifically very, very intentional in I have not closed my ears. And we all know that our ears are our hearing portals. They are what we use to take in auditory information of our surroundings and what is around us. So our hearing, it in essence saying I have not denied myself the ability to hear the truth. I have not denied myself the ability to hear the truth. On the other end, it would be I have been receptive to all that has been sent to me. Right? That would be the other end of us being able to have the affirmation from the law. I have been receptive to all that has been sent to me. And a lot of times we are not. And that's why today's moment is going to be so awesome and so exciting, because a lot of times we have not been receptive to all that has come to us in synchronicities, in signs, in plain English, in directions, in rules. And for those of you that are subscribed to like commandments and surahs and laws, like we have had a number of directives that we do not always hear appropriately. And we have a number of, stimulation or communication. That's what I say. Communication and messages that have come to us in droves that we do not always hear adequately and appropriately, or we hear them, get overwhelmed by them, and shut down our ears to the receptivity. So I have not closed my ears. Now, the reason why it is so spiritually significant that I believe that this law honed in on hearing, and not just ignoring, and not just bypassing, and not just shutting down, but specifically hearing, because I want us to think about hearing and the divinity of it. So if you cannot see something, but you only can hear, you still have a really great scope of what is going on around you. You still have a really great attunement as to what your environment is. Meaning, like, if I close or cover my eyes, I can still hear directively, and I also can use sound for motion and placement. So someone can come in this door, and with my eyes closed, I can tell where they are. Someone can call me from afar. My phone can ring when I'm in the kitchen, right? So when we talk about hearing, we're talking about an extreme divine attunement. And so right now the law is saying, I am not turning my ear to extreme divine attunement. I'm not turning my ears off. I'm not closing my ears to being in tuned in this way. As adversely, if we closed our ears, but we could only see. So if I were to close my ears and I only can see, if I'm moving forward, I can only see in the direction that I am moving in. I can only see the direction that I'm looking in. I can only see in what is right in front of me. I'm sorry, there's some things on my camera. I can only see in what is right in front of me. Meaning that if you cannot hear something, someone could come up behind you. Someone could honk a horn. Some music could be playing in the room. There could be the sound of some type of warning. An animal could be growling, but all you can do is see what is in front of you. And I believe that this component is why the ancestors, or why this meiotic law is so specific around hearing directly or hearing in isolation, why it is intended for us to hone in on the hearing component of our senses. I have not closed my ears because, again, hearing is a divine, all in tune, all inclusive. You can hear, or let me see, you can see. Well, let me make sure it's all the right what I'm seeing in my mind. You can see, you can hear what you can't see. There we go. You can hear what you can't see, but you can't see what you can't hear. Okay, you can hear what you can't see, but you can't see what you can't hear. Okay, I think that's where I'm going with that. Okay, which goes deeply in depth into the spiritual significance of the ears, the spiritual significance of what it is that I hear. Many times, before let's say when a baby is brand new and newborn, before they are used to the environment, before they can take part in what's going on, they become familiar with outside forces outside of the womb based on what they heard in utero, meaning their mother's voice or music that she may listen to, or her work environment, or the father's voice. When the baby is born, it is already accustomed and aligned with certain aspects of the mother's world based on what was heard. Auditory receptivity is extremely divine. So I believe that when, again, this law was intentional on I have not closed my ears to the truth, very, very intentionally. They were intentionally, no, they were specifically intentional on I have not closed my ears. So, we all know that we have five senses. So we have sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. Sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. These are the ways that we experience the world. These are the ways that we experience life. Sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. This law is saying that I have not closed myself off from the way that I experience the truth. I am not shutting off one of the most predominant and superior senses, and one of my most reliable and necessary senses for experiencing the truth. I have not shut down how I experience the truth using something like sound, using our ears, as I will not shut down. Okay, so the spiritual significance around around sound, the spiritual significance around auditory receptivity, really highlights for us how profound this law is. I have not closed my ears to the truth. I have not shut down how I experience. I have not taken away a major receptivity tool of experiencing the truth. And by using this ears in this lesson, it is also highlighting for us that what we listen to dictates how we experience the truth. What I hear and what I absorb auditorily, what I listen to, greatly influences how I experience the truth. So, and we all know, we all have been in positions where we were given myths or old wives' tales. Someone warned us of something, a gossip. Someone may have give us what is it? A predetermined notion of an experience or a person. Oh, I want to eat at this restaurant I heard that was really good, or I don't really want to go to this place I heard that they're really nasty there. I don't have really. We begin to shift our experiences based on what it is that we are hearing. And so our ancestors are saying this is how powerful the experience of truth is, that you do not ever want to shut off one of your main conductors of truth. So watch who what is it, shout out to shout out to Baba Ali. He used to always say, what is the saying that I used to hear, the saying that was really dope, and I'm sure he got it probably from the Quran or his teachings. Oh my goodness, I'm mad that I'm drawing a blank, but it was one of the, he would say, oh, be careful who you lend your ears to. That's what he would say. He would always say, be careful who you lend your ears to. And with me being a student of life, with me being so eager, I'm super explorative, I'm a major researcher, and there's a lot of times when I'm just like, I want to hear what is being said. I want to know. I want to experience. And he would always say, be careful who you lend your ears to. And this is very much in alignment with this law. I have not closed my ears to the truth. There are many times that we are listening to music. There are many times that we are a part of a conversation, or we are part of just the propaganda of media, period. We're hearing reels, and we're hearing the news. And I can remember during COVID when it was just chaos rampant. A lot of the chaos that was experienced was not all what we saw. Remember, many of us were locked away. Many of us were, on lockdown, in isolation, shut in. So a lot of what we got about what was going on was what we heard. Yes, images, yes, reports, but mainly it was just like, have you heard? We spread to each other what was and what wasn't. And it became reality for us. So when our ancestors have provided a law like, I have not closed my ears to the truth, it means that, are you in alignment? Thank you so much. Are you in alignment with what it is that is actually happening? Are you in alignment with what it is that actually is relevant to you? Have you been able to close your ears to that which is untrue, that which is negative, that which is low vibrational, unnecessary? And have you harnessed the discipline and the focus, the courage to be open to the truth? Lisa Nichols, one of my favorite motivationalists. I love her. Shout out to Lisa if she ever catches a moment. Lisa Nichols, she has an exercise that I've mentioned 100,000 times on my moments because I love it, where she shows us how to stop believing lies about ourselves. And she has you to write out, she says, what does she have? She had us to write out everything about yourself in pencil. Everything that you believed, everything you believe that you can't do, or every negative thing you believed about yourself in pencil, every positive thing you believe about yourself in red ink. And she says, and then she wants us to go back and erase anything that is a lie. And she defined the lie as anything that hasn't been proven. Anything that hasn't been proven is, don't care what you think, don't care what the statistics are, don't care what your family did, don't care about a pattern. If it has not been proven in your life, you go and erase that from your synopsis of self. And everything that you know to be true about yourself, you keep in the red ink, and before you know it, you go and you erase. And mainly what remains about you are the positive aspects of you and your story. So for example, someone may say they can't make a certain salary because they didn't graduate from college, or someone may say they come from a long line of single parents, so they may not get married. Someone may believe that if they come from a long line of incarcerated individuals, they will end up either dead or in prison by a certain age. These are things that we hear all the time. So then it becomes a belief, right? We hear it, 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 we hear it. It becomes a belief. So then Lisa goes and says, if it hasn't been proven in your life, you erase it. It's a lie. It is simply not the truth. And a lot of times in our lives, the truth is so apparent to us on a regular basis. But what we hear is constructing a reality for us that we're operating in. We don't have a credit score for a thing. We don't have the funds for a circumstance or a situation. We don't have the unity. We as a people can't. We as women won't. We just hear too much unnecessary untruths. Too many unnecessary untruths. Peace to the alchemistic. So very, very blessed to have you and your energy. We just hear too many unnecessary untruths. And the ancestors are saying, our 11th meiotic law says, I have not closed my ears to the truth. As I believe, as I hear, I believe, as I move, I believe, as I move towards the, let me see, when it comes to sound, I want to, in my mind, I see like, when it comes to sound, I see a ricochet and a vibration of energy. That's what sound is, waves, megahertz, frequencies. It's saying that I am open to the frequencies that will, because the truth does what? Set us free. Okay. I am open to the frequencies that will set me free. I am open to the frequencies that will deliver me. That means the lies of thank you, thank you, thank you. That means the lies of family curses or generational curses, the lies of all that we've ever seen. Mind you, many of us are doing what we know based on what we've seen, right? We may have grown up in impoverished environments. We may have grown up with individuals that were incarcerated or intoxicating themselves, drinking, smoking, indulging addictions. We may have grown up in pessimism. And we are saying that the ancestor, the law, the 11th law of the 42 laws of Maya is not saying I am open to what I see, right? Because what we see, we will create. What I see is what I do. So it's saying we're not heavily reliant on the example. We're not heavily reliant on the visual. We're not heavily reliant on the image because the image may be misguided. We are not heavily reliant on what is as so much as we are reliant on the message of what we hear. We are or what we are taking in, the frequency, the vibration, right? All of us know that we've been to a place where the reality looks one way, but there is a voice inside of us that says something different. There is a voice that we've all been in a place where I don't belong here. This isn't my story. I'm so much better than this. I can do more than this. I hear on the inside, I hear on the inside what is, as opposed to being caught up in the visual. Our ancestors said they didn't say I'll close my eyes to what I see. It says or didn't say I will close my eyes to the truth. This says I have not closed my ears. I have not closed my ears. Looks can be deceiving. There are such things as deceptions and illusions. But what you hear is a vibration. I thought I heard someone calling my name. I heard, I can hear when my daughter may say, are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. But I may hear her crying in another room, what I can't see. Hearing is how we also convey to one another, how we communicate to one another, how we convey energy. Our ancestors saying, I have not closed my ears to the truth that is being conveyed to me. I have not shut off my ability to accept what is being conveyed. But oh, by the droves do we. Do we watch? Do we hear? Everyone knows the shenanigans of the politics and what is going on. You all are listening. You all are hearing. Are you denying what you're hearing about you? Are you denying what you're hearing about your space? Are you denying? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm moving this all around because my what I have my phone propped up on. I don't know why it keeps sliding. It's being weird. I think because I have like a silicone case in my phone. It's doing some weird stuff. Okay. I feel like it's moving again. That's so weird. Okay, stay with me, mommy mercy. But are you denying? I have not closed my ears to the truth. What you listen to dictates how you experience the truth. Choose your counselors wisely. Choose your guidance wisely. With it, Mama Maya Angelo, one of my favorite mamas, she said, when you go through life, have a catcher's mitt. What did she say? Have two catcher's mitts. I hope I am not messing up this quote. Two catcher's mitts, one to catch and one to throw back. You know what you don't need, taking things with a grain of salt. Be wise about what it is you are open to learning, what you are open to hearing, what you are open to believing. And when it comes to our healing and our development, it is even more so us being particular and specific about what we are open to believing about ourselves, what we are open to believing about our reality and about what we can accomplish and about our worth. There are things that you can't do right now. There are things that you haven't done right now, all because you don't believe what you hear. I was listening to Londrell, one of my favorite musicians, and he had a feature with TD Jakes on his song, on one of his songs, and Jake said, he said, you didn't believe you were ugly until you heard, these are quoting, till you heard someone say you were ugly. You didn't believe you were stupid until you heard someone say you were stupid. You didn't believe you couldn't do it until you heard someone say you couldn't do it. Everything that you do or don't believe about yourself is something that you heard and in turn believed about yourself. This is exactly what I am saying. And this is exactly what I believe our ancestors were intending in this law. I have not closed my ears to the truth. Because if I close them to the truth, it means that I open them for the lies. Now, this brings us to our next point. Why would we open for lies? Why would we close for a truth? Why would we want to live like that? Why do we live like that? Okay? Because sometimes doing what's right is not the easy thing to do. Doing what's right is not always what's easy. Sometimes doing what's right is not what's easy. It's easier to give up. It's easier to make excuses. It's easier to sit in the misery. Do you know the work and dedication it would take to grow yourself out of a circumstance, to grow yourself out of a generational curse, to grow yourself out of a heavily rooted dysfunction? Sometimes it is easier to just point the finger, blame someone else. It is easier to just break down and cry about it. There are a lot of times when we would rather do what is easy than do what is right. And this is why it is easy to close your ears to the truth. Because if I believe I can do it, I have to live differently. If I believe that I'm worthy, I have to behave differently. If I believe that I'm destined for greatness, then I have to have a different standard on my life and my everyday. Ignorance, this is my saying, I added on to, ignorance is bliss. I always tell my sister, if ignorance is bliss, then knowledge must be a burden. And for all those conscious folks out there, you know it is. If ignorance is bliss, then knowledge is a burden. Now, how many times do we want to give up knowing? Woo! Sometimes knowing the truth is just so heavy. Sometimes knowing the truth is just such a weight on your soul, on your spirit, on your chest. Sometimes knowing what's right, woo, feels real wrong. But I have not closed. Our ancestors knew that as we are on a journey of self-discovery, as we are on a journey of enlightenment, as we are on a journey of becoming, we are going to be tempted to merge towards the ease of dysfunction. And it said, start your day off with a proclamation, I have not, or I will not close my ears to the truth. And then you end your day with that declaration, I have not closed my ears to the truth. I will not close my ears to the truth. Remember, I said about these 42 laws and any ammunitions that come about, they were designed to be proclaimed at the start of your day. before the day even gets started. I will not close my ears to the truth. And then again, to come in at the end of your day and confirm I have not closed my ears to the truth. And the reason, like I always say, the only reason to make a promise in the morning and then come on and confirm it at night and to put so much energy towards something is if it requires a lot of energy. If it requires a lot of focus. If it requires a lot of an intentionality. We're not talking about easy things our ancestors knew. As you begin to go through the fragility and complexity of the spirit and of self in this life, you are going to get to the point where you are going to want to lead toward the ease of dysfunction. I have not closed my ears to the truth. There's a lot of people saying a lot of nothing. There's a lot of low vibrational music and manipulations all around to get us to pay attention, to draw in our focus. But the law says, I have not closed my ears to the truth. Sometimes the right thing is not the easy thing. Most times the right thing is not the easy thing. There's an old commercial. I'm trying to think of what year. I was about 16, so I know I was because I was working in Owings Mills Mall, and there was a commercial at the time. It was like a SPCA commercial of some sort, but they were talking about like animals and the nature of the innocence of animals, right? And this, I guess like the SPCA people had come in to help pull some baby raccoons or something that had been stuck in a chimney. They had been stuck up in the chimney somehow. And they pulled them out. And when they were pulling the raccoons out, they were little baby raccoons and they were covering their eyes. They all were covering their eyes. They were terrified. And the person whose house they were helping or servicing had asked, why are they all coming out with their eyes covered? And the SPCA, or the animal control specialist, he said, they believe this is a defense mechanism. They believe that if they cover their eyes and they can't see you, you aren't there. You can't hurt them, right? They cover their eyes because they believe you only can hurt them if they see you. When it comes to how we experience truth, when it comes to how we experience life, when it comes to how we experience our growth and development, the senses are so powerful in our perspective, right? Just because they covered their eyes, but you're talking about a baby raccoon, right? A baby raccoon. But it's just saying if we can't see them, they're not here. And there's so many of us who have become exhausted by what we can see, by what we can hear, by what we are in tune to. Those of us that are emotionally advanced or spiritually advanced may be in a position of exhaustion with that. And we feel like, listen, I don't always want to go by truth. It breaks me down. It renders me hopeless in so many regards. I just want to not know. You ever seen when something is revealed in a truth and someone say, I can never unhear it. Now I can never unhear it. They're using I can never unhear it in alignment with I can never unknow. It's used in the exact parallel in definition in that I can never unhear that, or I can never unsee that. In a means of saying I can never unknow now what's been revealed to me. I can never unknow now what I understand. Now that the veil has been lifted, now that the truth has been shown. Our ancestors, I said, do not close your ears to the truth. Why would we want to close our ears to the truth? Because sometimes it is easier to digest a lie. Sometimes it is easier to get in alignment with a dysfunctional, generational curse or family pattern. Sometimes it is easier not to believe in myself than to believe in myself. Doing what's right is not always easy And what we perceive becomes what we believe. And they are saying, as things are open to you, as things are revealed to you, open and reveal what is inside of you in alignment. That's the other part. It's not just that I'm going to hear something. Ah, shucks, now I know. It's that when I hear, I am going to align as above, so below. What I experience in the physical, I am going to have to align with in the spiritual. And now I have to transform and transition as such. Has anyone ever, I know I'm not the only one, to be up in the grocery store reading I swear, the more health conscious I get, the less I can do with the grocery store at all. It is such a headache. To be in the grocery store reading all the ingredients, taking forever to make sure you're not putting, because now you are the policer of the poison. You have the police poison because so many people have closed their ears to the truth. The truth right there on the pack says contains bioengineered products, plastic as your cereal, and you're still going to eat it. It says may cause cancer on the cigarettes. So many of others have closed their ears to the truth, and now I am the police of my own poison. Now I am endowed with the responsibility of policing my poison. And oh my gosh, the burden. It would be so much easier to walk in and grab something and go. But now I gotta know what's in it. And I have to know how it came about. And I have to know and be particular about what's going inside of my body. I have to know that I can't listen to all that crazy stuff and be this, F that, bust this wide open. I can't do it. Because I experience truth through my senses. And what I experience and am receptive to as truth becomes my reality. We all know that when all five senses, right? Sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. Many of us, we decide what we're going to eat. We walk into a restaurant, we want a whole sensory experience. It's like, oh, I saw the commercial. Oh my gosh, it smells so good in here. Oh my gosh, this feels so good. This tastes amazing, right? When we're in a spiritual act of creation, all five senses, depending on how you get down. You know what I'm saying? All five senses. Because we want to be immersed in the experiences. And our ancestors, I say, you were designed. That's why you have five senses. Those of us that are super blessed to have all of them and more. You were designed to experience truth. So now that you have an ear, it came with you. It shows that you are manufactured to perceive as is. And our ancestors are saying, do not close your ears to what you were intended to hear and do. So a lot of times, many of us are married to the idea of taking the easy road, the path of least resistance. We know better. We've been hearing better. We know we should be honoring one another. We heard it 1,000 times. We know that we are capable. Know that we are brilliant. Know that we are beautiful. Heard the truth of our origins and our civilizations. We've heard the stories. We've heard the songs. We've heard the lessons. But what does it mean for me if I believe these things? What does it mean for a young, impoverished child in the hood if they believe that they were royalty, if they hear? That's why one of the most sacred positions in our culture and our community was a griot, the storyteller. One of them was who held our history on their tongue and fed it to our children auditorily. Because what does it mean for them to hear? You are better. You are greater. You can. You will. It is you not closing your ear to the truth. Yeah, I know that you said, listen, I have two young adult children, something like it. And every time I'm saying, I am always in there is, Mama, I know what you said. Ma, I know what you said. And my thing is, I don't care what you're seeing. I don't care what anyone else is doing. You need to listen and hear the wisdom. Listen and hear the divinity of truth. What is it being said inside of you? We all are there. We all have been there when the voice, some call it consciousness or our conscience. Some call it creator, spirit. Some say intuition. Whatever you call it, we all have been in the space where we have heard, do this, don't do this, call this person, take this drive, try again, go again, look one more time, don't go back there, look up there. I have not closed my ears to the truth. I have not closed my ears. Here comes I would like to share with you one of the greatest components I pray that we take from today's moment with I have not closed my ears to the truth. This is probably the part that reigns to me the most. I am an extraordinary empath, a server of the people, and many times I am so determined to see and do what I feel I should see and do as right when I am blatantly being, I think that's Mama Maya Angelo too, when people tell you who they are, believe them the right time, first time, when they show you who they are. When I am being told, it is being constantly revealed to me, protect yourself, don't go here, enough is enough, this is the last time, move on, what have you. And then my heartstrings start getting all pulled and I keep going in a certain direction when I've been told. I've been told. What were you told though? Well, I thought or I felt or I was trying, but what were you told? See, the Creator said, go out, be great. When you woke up this morning, be happy, be positive, live within yourself. Know that you are her. Know that you are him. Then you go out into the world and something discourages you. Someone with a lower vibration attempts to pull you into their vibration. What were you told about yourself? Malcolm X said that. Who told you? I believe he said, who told you you were black? Who told you you were a nigger? Maybe I can't say that word. I'm sorry if YouTube is going to be all extra, right? But who told you? Again, in the same alignment as what made you believe? Who told you you were less than? Who told you you were second? What caused you to believe this about yourself? You have closed your ears to the truth. So here's the thing about us closing our ears to the truth. This is going to be our last point so we don't go super far over this moment. Here's the thing about us closing. I don't know why this thing keeps sliding. It's annoying me. Mommy mercy. Here's the thing about us annoying or ignoring the truth. Nothing is without evidence. There is nothing that exists. Nothing that is not evidence, that does not have evidence of itself. Every single thing we get a part of, every single thing we're drawn to, every single thing we connect with has evidence with or about what it is. So you meet someone, you like someone, you want to start this new job, you want to get this new car. Listen, anything we want to connect with has evidence. So there is nothing that is without evidence of what it is. Many of us have our minds made up about where we're going to be or where we're going or who we want to be or what life is. We have closed ourselves to learning. We have closed ourselves to humility. We have closed ourselves to growing, and we have become stuck and stagnant into some pre-constructed version of ourselves, whether it is a pre-constructed version that we created, someone created for us, or one that we follow regularly. And there are things that really are pre-construction, existing, is, And things that are have evidence of what they are. Meaning, like, if I pick up a toy train, I can see that it's a train, but then I might push a button and it say choo choo, and then I might put it on some tracks. There's evidence that reinforces what this is. Right? I don't know. I know when we were growing up, we were big Disney movie buffs. My mother was big on making sure we had all the movies. And The Little Mermaid, for those that are unfamiliar, the story is that she was a mermaid that wanted desperately to be a human. She lived under the sea and occasionally she was infatuated with humans and learning them and mocking them and being one of them. She would frequently follow behind shipwrecks and things like that and pick up doodads and knickknacks as that come off of human operation, come from human operation. And she would try to figure out what they were. One time she picked up a fork. And of course she didn't know what a fork was because she wasn't a human and they didn't have those under the sea. And she called it a I might have to ask Beautiful at this point. Knick-knack or doo-wop. She made up a name about it. But she had gone around saying it was a comb. Right? She figured it may be a comb because of the prongs in it, and she had taken it to a seagull and asked the seagull, "What is this?" And the seagull kind of backed up. The seagull didn't know what it was and was kind of like, "Yeah, it's that type of thing." Later on, way later on in the movie, she actually gets on a ship and she hobnobs with humans and she sees them using the fork for food. At that point, she cannot hold on. Now, this is where this goes all into my synopsis, right? My resignations. She cannot go on believing that a fork was a comb. Once she saw the actual operation of it, she then had to humble herself to the truth. Now, that was a long analogy, right? But it comes back down in here to this. It comes back down to this. Every single thing we're trying to figure out has evidence about what it is. Is this a sign? Is this a season, a reason, a lifetime? Is this my job? Is this my career? Is this my happily ever after? Is this my husband? Every single thing we have has evidence about what it is. As you are growing and learning and maturizing, the evidence will continue to unfold and blossom to your understanding. Once you are revealed to the highest level of your understanding, you can have it, Baba. Peace. As you maturize to your highest level of understanding, do not deny what it is you now understand. That's this whole point. That's what I'm saying. When the evidence begins to present itself throughout your growth and development, what I'm saying is there is a time in your immaturity, there's a time in your ignorance when a thing is a thing. The way you see yourself, the way you love yourself, the way you treat yourself, the job you want, the mate you want, the life you want. As you begin to grow and explore and life begins to reveal itself and blossom up to you in alignment with your maturity, do not get stuck with the thing being the thing that it was. Open your ears to the truth of what is, and that is what's going to move you to where you are intended to be. I've only been married once. I've been divorced for forever now, 15 years, but I've only been married one time. And in that situation, I got married at 18. This was a truth at 18. But as I am evolving, as I am growing, I think we divorced when I was in my mid-20s, we're not saying this has to be what it is. As I'm growing and changing, my alignment with what it actually is, my alignment with the evidence. I'm not going to close off to my alignment with the evidence. So there was a time when, yes, because I signed this document or I fell in love with this person, the evidence suggested we were this. But as time moved and things began to come into place that were absolutely not behaviors fitting of a marriage, the evidence presented another way. In my growth, in my development, in my seeking and my finding and my understanding, I had to be honest with not closing my ears to the truth. I hear what you think of me. I am not closing off what it is I'm hearing inside of me. What I'm hearing that my children are saying, I am not going to close my ears off to the evolution and the alignment. Once it is clear to me, I move accordingly. Once it is clear to me, I move accordingly, and the clarity changes as you change. Now, sometimes our clarity highly just reinforces what we already thought and believed. It grows and matures with us. Sometimes it's a full transition into something brand new and different. But if we are going to grow and be our best selves, do not hope and wish yourself out of your blessings. This is what I mean by aligning with the evidence. Do not hope and wish yourself out of a blessing. Is hope great? Yes. In context. Is wishing wonderful? Absolutely. In context. But do not hope and wish yourself out of the evidence, out of the truth that is being shown to you. This is what you should be. Everybody in your family is a doctor, but guess what are you hearing inside your spirit? What are you hearing inside? Do not sit up here and be loyal to a lie by closing your ears to the truth. Do not be loyal to a lie by closing your ears to the truth. Well, everyone expects and everyone wants, and I've done so. I've come this far. I've invested this much. I went to school for this. This is what happened a lot of times during COVID. Major career shifts, major life changes. People wanted to adopt children. People wanted to divorce. I mean, it was a major altering. The reason why this was so life altering was because the pandemic created a era or a incubation of self where you could hear yourself over the noise. You could hear yourself over the influence. You could hear yourself because you were with self. And when you heard, many of those life-changing decisions came from hearing a truth and not closing that. You don't like being a doctor anymore. Or you want to follow your dream of starting this business. You're not even married to you and this person are roommates. Or you do want to be a parent, or you don't want to be a parent, or what have you. But incubating during the time of the pandemic put us in a place of hearing. Never underestimate the divinity of what you hear. Never underestimate the vitality and the impact and influence of what you are hearing. Know that what you know has a great deal to do with what you are experiencing. And our ancestors said, do not change what you know away from the truth. Do not adopt a truth that is so far from what is real. I have not closed my ears to the truth. When there are so many opinions, when there are so many vibrations, when there have been so much in place. Have you guys seen how the Surgeon General says this and the FDA says that, and everything, strawberry is not a fruit and then a cucumber is a fruit, and it's just on and on. There was a time, every science says it, there was a time when it was believed in pediatric, in the pediatric practices, that you could give an infant this. There was a time when you can't, even if you go get a tattoo, there's 1,000 theories on how taking care of a tattoo have changed over time. Do not lose sight of truth. Do not close your ears to the voice and the guidance within self. Do not fret or stray away from what it is you are hearing. Sometimes you have to make sure, tune in, to not be loyal to lies and closing your ears to the truth. I hear the discrepancy. I hear and experience the inconsistency. People that we love, people that we follow, people that we honor. I remember one time I heard a huge fan of Beyonce, right? Love Beyonce for the woman empowering part of it, right? But I can remember people always saying, they and the Illuminati and they devil worshiping. I tend not to get caught up on all of the whispers, right? But I heard myself. I was listening to Savage, I think it was Savage, with her and I had heard the song. I think it was her and Megan Thee Stallion. And Beyonce says she says there's a line where she says on that demon time, I might start a OnlyFans. It was something like that. And I remember being like, what'd she say? What'd she say just now? But had to rewind. Listen, Beehive, don't come for me. I'm just talking about when you hear for yourself, how you have to then discern for yourself and make a decision towards the truth. And that's all I want to encourage us all to do today, right? Have your own thoughts, have your feelings, but if you hear it and it is clear, you have to evolve yourself in alignment with the evidence of truth. In whatever form that comes to you and however it unfolds in your lives. And if you are seeking, you will always find. Do not shy away from what you find. Do not close yourself off. Because what you find, I promise you, is not what you think. But what you do see will only evolve you that much more. I am so very grateful to all of you who have been on A Moment of Harmony today. This one went a little bit long. I'm so grateful to have you. Thank you for your grace and your mercy, as this morning was a morning and this moment almost was not a moment, okay? But that is a lie. We had a moment today. It was a beautiful moment and you were incredible being a part of it. Thank you all so very much again. I look forward to seeing you next week for another Moment of Harmony. Please take really good care of yourself and go on out your way to take good care of someone else. We are in Meiotic Moments. We will be back again for another way to grow and love and build ourselves next week. Thank you so much. You all be blessed.